standing at the dumpster, about to toss a little bit of trash away, resolving to make less trash, as I do every day. Every day I resolve to make less trash. More on why later. But metaphorically, as I toss and pitch, I'm also resolving to toss and pitch judgments and make less mental trash. There are so many angles that I could share of why I would choose to record a spontaneous poem at a dumpster. But if you've ever felt like you want to dump your whole life, if you've ever felt like everything's a mess and it only gets worse, if you've ever felt like no matter how much progress you make, you still screw up with this, that, and that, if you've ever appeared like a mess or someone tells you you do, if you ever feel like you're in your 40s and you feel like you're 2, there's a lot of ways that all of us can be made to feel like we belong in there too. But my heart to yours, what helps heal that inner condemner every moment, which is how long it takes for a healing, is to know my spirituality is true. Not someday when I go master this and that, not someday when I prove this, that, and that, but right now. And so if I hold to the spiritual fact that I am the image and likeness of love, just like you, then no matter what feels like a mess, no matter what needs to improve, no matter what I'm already rocking that maybe years ago I never thought I would do, none of those mortal judgments will be where I assess my goodness. And my heart to yours, what matters most to me is to help everybody get their inner ROI from their spiritual goodness. You're already awesome at so much. You already have the potential to blossom even that much more. You already are innately good. And guess what? You can absolutely be better. And you should. You can love more. You can do more good. You can stop condemning the persons that you see on the street walking right by you. The other night, I was walking around in downtown Northampton, where I have a little nest, and more about that later. But I passed by somebody that maybe a couple years ago I would have just kept going by, because he had been a little overserved, and yet he wanted to connect, and it wasn't flirty. So I listened to his why. And through a little bit of slurring, because that's what happens after a couple beers for some, he shared that he had learned his mom had just been diagnosed with something awful. And he started to cry. And then he said, I'm a grown man and I should be prepared. And I said, buddy, I feel like I'm an infant almost every day, if that's worth sharing. I know he heard some good ideas that I gave him. I know it was a moment of fear-freeness for me, because I didn't want to run away. You know, I don't love talking to people when they're intoxicated, but I've done it enough to know they're often sharing substance that they would never say otherwise if it wasn't so. And yeah, it's a dream of mine that nobody runs from their fears through booze and drugs and pot and all that stuff. But it's the toughest thing in the world to face your thought and overcome fear every moment. So I'm gonna go ahead now and pitch some real trash. But meanwhile, I'm mentally resolving to judge less. And I'm already pretty good at seeing the good in someone else, but I've got a ways to go before I see the full goodness in myself. So much love to you. I'm sure many of you are doing taxes, so I'm wishing you fear-free in that. I'm sure many of you are beginning new steps, and I wish you so much love, in fact. Big hug. Till soon. The sun is shining